Hi there, I'm Spofie, a Lalafell YouTuber, and you may recognize me from Twitch or maybe from my raiding with Nest. I just want to give a disclaimer that these videos are meant as my casual first impressions. If you want something more in depth and honestly well edited, I highly recommend looking below. If you enjoy my vibe, you can find me on Twitch just about every night where I stream. Oh, and everything you see in these videos is subject to significant changes. So, welcome to the healer video. Obviously, I am a healer main. I play all of the healers. I primarily stick to whichever one I just end up enjoying the most in any given major patch cycle. And I wasn't really sure going into this which healer I wanted to main for Endwalker, but I will definitely give y'all my thoughts on that towards the end of this video once you kind of see and pick up what I'm putting down. I first hopped on White Mage. It's my main right now. I loved White Mage and Shadowbringers. I thought White Mage felt awesome. Popped out a few glares because Glare Mage. I'm a Glare Mage. I don't know what to tell you. The first new skill that I saw was Aqua Veil. I was really excited to see another mitigation ability alongside Divine Benison. Let's go double charge Divine Benison. So it was cool. I love the animation. Gotta have a water skill since we're losing our fluid aura, you know. So I was excited to see Aqua Veil included in there. As you can see, I also went to blast off some holies in the very beginning of the tour, which was shown here. I don't know why it's called Holy 3. I actually asked, but they weren't sure, so maybe it's a typo. I'm not really sure why we got Holy 3 instead of Holy 2. Perhaps that'll be addressed. Of course, all of this is subject to change. I adore the Lily Bell. It's definitely going to take some getting used to, but the Lily Bell is freaking wonderful. And I did a little bit of healing with it while killing some of the hunt ranks, which you will see in a later video. I think it's going to be awesome for those big AoE situations. Can I have that Lily Bell for Almagest, please? But anyway, White Mage doesn't have any super large changes. Honestly, that about covers it. So White Mage will be a good job to stick to if you want just your White Mage. Honestly, I loved White Mage and Shadowbringers. I felt like it was in a pretty good place, so I am not too upset about this. After White Mage, I ended up switching right over to Scholar. I was excited to get onto Scholar because I had a lot of questions after the live letter, especially about the fairy. But I started out with that crunchy 1.5 second broil. I love the new sound effect of Broil 4. I checked out Protraction because that was a new skill that immediately caught my attention, with some mitigation added to that and some extra healing. But then had to check out the speed boost. I was excited to see that there is also some damage mitigation on Expedient as well. So that's good to see along with that speed boost. I think it'll be pretty useful. Art of War, of course, cool new animation. I was stoked to see that. My big thing with getting on Scholar is I wanted to see what improvements to the pet AI meant. I was excited to see that upon clicking Whispering Dawn, it basically fired off instantly. I will say the pet skills feel better significantly. The way that they cast off instantly, the way that Fatal Illumination would cast off instantly, the tether. I don't know if maybe it was that West Coast ping happening, but I definitely felt a significant increase in the responsiveness of the pet, which I am very happy about. One thing I was not happy about that I tested out was if Seraph would still eat your Whispering Dawn if you tried to cast it right as you summoned Seraph. And yes, it does still eat your Whispering Dawn, which I'm really sad about, but it is what it is. When it comes to Scholar, I'm not sure if it'll be a job. I play a ton going into Endwalker, but I am really, really happy about the pet changes. They seem a lot more responsive. So after Scholar, I switched right on over to Astro. I was really excited to see the changes with Astro because a switch from their current place to a pure regen healer alongside White Mage meant I expected some pretty big changes, but I didn't expect what I found. I am super excited about Astro. These changes completely caught me off guard, and honestly, I might main Astro going into Endwalker. No spoodles, of course, on that note, but first off, when I got on Astro, I noticed, okay, right away, new skill, Exaltation, cool. It's the single target mitt for Astro. It seems like every single job kind of got a similar skill to that. Then I started to test out just, you know, how some of the new damage abilities looked, that Gravity 2 animation looking slick. And this is where I really started to see some of the new stuff. I looked into Minor Arcana and I was like, Lord and Lady of the Crowns are back. And not only that, but they're in AoE damage and heal respectfully, which is awesome. Or respectively, not respectfully. And then we have Macrocosmos, which this is the awesome, in the job trailer, I was like, wow, that looks amazing. And not only that, but you deal damage, AoE damage with it to heal. And that is cool. And then finally, we switch over to Astrodyne, and this is what I am so excited about. So from now on, Divination is no RNG. Divination is just an AoE damage buff. It has nothing to do with the seals. It is just damage. Now, Astrodyne is where you use your Astro seals. So when you're drawing cards and giving people cards, you still get the same seals that were added in Shadowbringers, but now they give you the chance to get different self buffs with Astrodyne. So you can get self mana buff with one seal, with 2 different types of seal. You get the mana as well as recast timers reduced. And with 3 different seals, you get both of those alongside healing potency and damage increase. It's just really cool, honestly. I'm so excited for Astro. These new skills look awesome. I couldn't be more stoked about it, honestly. Finally, and of course, last but not least, we are going to take a little bit of a look at Sage. Now, I'll be honest, this job is hard for me. I am still getting used to it even now after my time with the media tour. I think I need more time with it. I did play Sage through the dungeon, so there are some clips, some little blips of that included in this video, but I will be going a lot more in depth in my experience with Sage in that dungeon video, and you'll see a lot more of it there. However, I do show some of the skills on the screen here, you know, the damage skill, also showing off the Cardia ability, which is what you weave to turn your initial damage spell into a dot. So the skill you're going to be spamming, Eucrasian Dosis, is also, that's also your DOT ability as well. And then you have, of course, your heal, your AoE heal. You have a lot of different buffs that help your potency or double the healing you do. You have that dance partner-like ability that you can put on someone that not only heals them when you're attacking things, but you also have certain abilities that will buff heals on that target. I know it's weird to call it your dance partner, but I kept referring it to that, so that's what it's in my head as, because that's what it felt like. And then finally, what took me a really long time to figure out was the Adder Sting. So you can see the gauge. You have your Adder's Gall on the top, which are the little oval bits, and then you have your Adder Sting on the bottom. The Adder's Gall, there are skills that generate those, and then you can spend those sort of similar to like Aether Flow as a resource. But then the Adder Sting, you only get when you when shields get broken. So you actually get it quite a bit in like dungeons and stuff when you're shielding your tank, and that lets you use your abilities like Toxicon, which is like a big AoE. So in dungeons, if you're shielding your tank, you're gonna be like proccing your Toxicon through getting those Adder Sting stacks, and I don't know, it's really interesting. I realized after going through the dungeon that my hotbars were not set up how I am gonna have them set out when I'm actually playing the game. But yeah, I will talk much more about Sage in that dungeon video. And big thanks to everyone who did take the time to check out my healer video. Like I said, this is very much first impressions. I will link below some more in-depth looks into these jobs, and I'll be talking about them further on my Twitch stream, so I would love for y'all to join me there. Next up will be my dungeon video, so feel free to check out the link here if you want to watch that next. Bye, friends!